15 photos of Donald Trump caught in compromising situations. If you are brand new to our channel, we invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Just click on the lit red button as well as the gray bell. Why the bell? Well, it will let you know every time we post a new video. 9. Eclipses. Solar and lunar eclipses are astronomical occurrences that include 3 key players: the Sun, the Moon and the Earth. A lunar eclipse occurs when the full moon passes through the Earth's shadow and is temporarily made invisible in the night sky. Similarly, a solar eclipse happens when the moon passes in front of the Sun, blocking the rays from reaching Earth. Due to the size of the Sun in respect to the smaller moon, a solar eclipse only remains visible for a window of about 7 minutes and 31 seconds. This is why solar eclipses are historically viewed as more mystical and rare, even though they occur with roughly the same frequency as lunar eclipses. In the last century, there has been no more than 7 total eclipses reported per calendar year. In 1934, there was a record high of 5 solar eclipses. That year must have seen the rise of shoes sales as well. We all remember the homemade shoebox eclipse viewers that were prominent in our childhood. We can thank the moon for this cosmic eye candy. Without it, there would be no solar or lunar. 10. Our astrological sign. Most of us have a basic, at best, understanding of Western astrology. We are familiar with our astrological sun signs, a group of 12 zodiac symbols that are based on constellations. The planets and sun orbit through the astrological belt during various seasons, associating a cosmic symbol to different periods in a calendar year. The position of the sun at the time of your birth provides you with your astrological sun sign. Astrology buffs and metaphysical geeks will have you know that your sun sign is not the most accurate astrological element. In fact, the position of the moon at the time of your birth is said to provide far more insight into a person's feelings and emotions. While the sun sign can summarize basic character traits, the moon sign can delve into deeper territory. The moon sign can help us understand how we feel and process emotions, what our subconscious fears are, and what drives us to behave in certain ways. (11) Birth rates. Superstition would have us believe that the rate of birth dramatically rises during the full moon. Ask any midwife or labor nurse, and they will confirm this to be true. Tales of women spontaneously going into labor, and stories of overflowing nurseries have been told for decades. Folklore aside, empirical data supports the claim of an increase in births during the period before and after the full moon. Despite it being a nominally slight increase, birth rate is approximately 1% higher when the moon is fullest. Although the higher birth rate applies to a period of 1 week before and after the full moon, this still supports the theory that birth rate is highest when the moon is brightest and fullest. Money he had several times, and even talked about himself in the third person. Rather than cringe at Playboy's portrayal of him, Trump seems to be proud of his interview in the magazine, and can be seen flashing it around on occasion. Perhaps he's banking on the fact that no one reads the articles in Playboy anyway. 12. Crime rates. The prevalence of violent crimes around the full moon has been a topic of study for decades. Police officers and doctors from all over the world have supported the theory that people are more prone to violence when the moon is full. Additional officers are routinely dispatched during the week of the full moon in many British cities. For the lunar effect, the predominance of aggressive behavior has also been linked to schizophrenic patients in mental institutions, whereas no scientific studies have been able to confirm or deny this theory. Evolution may be to blame for our more aggressive tendencies. Our Cro-Magnon ancestors had better visibility for hunting under the full moon. This caveman ideology might explain why people are more prone to violent and aggressive outbursts at specific times in the moon cycle. European magazine. Prior to my knowing millennia, in Europe, pictures like this are very fashionable and common. 13. Our sleeping patterns. Restless sleep, insomnia, bad dreams. New research has discovered that we can blame these unpleasant occurrences on the moon. Sleep researchers at the Psychiatric Hospital of the University of Basel in Switzerland have published some very interesting findings. Sleep studies conducted on participants over a 4-year period have concluded that sleep quality decreases by up to 30% around the full moon. Further, the research subjects were all healthy, drug and alcohol-free, and had no previously reported sleeping problems. The participants were unaware that researchers were evaluating their sleep patterns during the full moon while taking part in the study, which eliminated any research bias. We are already aware that our bodies are biologically fine-tuned to a circadian rhythm, which enables us to adapt to our environment's climate and natural sunlight. Based on these findings, scientists are wondering whether a biological circadian. 14. Our moods. We've all heard of or experienced directly a case of the full moon crazies. The term lunatic originates from the Latin lunaticus, which essentially means moon-like. The full moon has notoriously been depicted as a time of intense feels in popular movies and music. From Stephen King novels to CCR songs, this cliché spans centuries of folklore and science alike. Theoretically, our emotions are heightened during a full moon due to the levels of water in our bodies. Like the tides, the water within us is pulled at higher intensities during periods when the moon is fullest. The result is an intensification of emotions, compulsive behavior and chaotic thoughts. The Spiritual Science Research Foundation, SSRF, proposed that the correlation is due to the subconscious mind's ability to sense the frequencies or energies of the moon. Since everything in the universe can be broken down into non-solid, energetic components, this theory is not that far-fetched. The tides. The correlation between the moon and the changing tides is due to the gravitational forces present in the solar system. These pulls maintain the equilibrium of the Earth's rotation on its own axis, whilst keeping the moon in constant rotation around the Earth. Gravity and centrifugal forces are responsible for keeping the ocean's waters at equal levels around the planet. The moon's pull, however, is strong enough to disrupt this balance ever so slightly. The result is the daily occurrence of high tide and low tide. If you've ever spent an entire day at the beach, you've most certainly witnessed the changing of the tides. The Earth completes a full rotation once every 24 hours, resulting in one high tide and one low tide roughly every 12 hours.